Honorable Minister of Local Government.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I wish to give you an update on the ongoing Expose the Corrupt People-led audit and fight against corruption. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to sincerely thank you for allowing me to table and present before the whole House an update on our ongoing people-led audit and fight against corruption being undertaken through the Expose the Corrupt and Corruption Crusade across our local government. The exercise is aimed at strengthening accountability, protecting public resources, and most importantly, improving public service delivery to our people. Through engagements with the citizen, inspection, collaboration with the relevant accountability, security, and anti-corruption agencies, we are identifying gaps and cases that undermine the effective delivery of government programs and services. I wish to extend my special appreciation to the Minister of State, of Local Government, and the anti-corruption agencies who are supporting this effort led by the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, which is led by General Isoke, the Internal Security Organization, the Inspectorate of Government, the Director of Public Prosecution, the CID, and all the other professionals who are giving us a hand. There is a commitment. Commitment has been very instrumental in ensuring that credible concern raised by citizens receive the necessary attention and follow-up. To emphasize on the emphasis, this is not a personal fight against individual. It is just for accountability and for the betterment of Uganda. Our objective is not to witch hunt anyone, but to ensure that public resources are used to their intended purpose and that citizens receive the services they deserve. This is not a fight belonging to only revolutionary heroes like General Museveni, nor the new generation led by Mozi. It is a national cause that requires every Ugandan, institution, and leader to participate actively. As members of Parliament, we have a particular responsibility because we represent the very communities affected by the quality of public service delivery. I therefore call upon all honorable members to actively participate in this effort in the constituencies and areas where we operate and represent our people. Let us collectively expose corruption, demand accountability, protect public resources, and ensure that our schools, health centers, roads, bridges, local government, and other public institutions deliver effectively. The ultimate measure of this campaign should not simply be the number of officials investigated or interdicted. Our success must be measured by the better service, strong institutions, responsible leadership, and an improved quality of life for our people of Uganda. I once again wish to thank you, the Right Honorable. Before I give you the detail, it is about personality. It's about public service. It's not about settling scores. It's about protecting public resources. And it's not the fight of a few. It is a fight which every Ugandan must participate. So a brief look at on the areas that we have covered, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues. We launched the campaign on 8th July, Expose the Corrupt National Campaign, phase 1. We started with Jinja, continued to Bulambuli, Mbale, Namisindwa, and Mbale City. In phase 2, we covered Greater Masaka, focusing on Masaka City, Masaka District, Sembabule, Rakai, and well, phase 3, we have proceeded to Mbarara City, Buweju, Mitoma, and Isinjiro. Then we have also extended our movement to Pakwach, Maracha, and Moyo. Last weekend, we were in Renzo, the sub-region, where we covered Bunyangabo, Kasese, and Bundubujo. Methodology. The campaign and investigations are conducted using documentary review, interviews, site visits, audits, and barazas. To ensure thorough and comprehensive campaign and investigation into the issue of corruption, I requested for technical support from the relevant ministries and departments and agencies to back up the exercise, and this includes the State House Anti-Corruption for lawyers and detectives, Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecution for prosecutors to ensure we collect the right files so that we don't just collect and take people to court, but we need to have the right file management. Minister of Works, Transport and Minister of Works and Transport for engineers and the and lab techs who are taking samples of some of the shoulder works done, police and CID in respective districts, and detectives. The audit aspect of investigation have so far been supported by internal audit department of the local government visited. However, similar arrangements are being made through the PSST and the internal auditor general to present at least 3 or 4 members to support this audit so that we get accurate information. Areas of investigation focus, the following are the key areas of focus during our ongoing exercise: understanding the cause of corruption in local government and disrupting the network that facilitates it. Then exposing and shaming proven corrupt, negligent public officers, awakening public participation in public service and management, creating, on C, awakening public participation and public service management. As you're all aware, Minister of Local Government has a structure right from LC1 to the top, but some of the veins had blocked. So we are trying to awaken those veins so that they do the right thing that they are meant to do. Then creating national awareness in fight against all forms of corruption in our local government. Together with other anti-corruption agencies, conducting swift investigation and prosecution for offenders in public interest. Understanding the policy gaps and indicating bottlenecks in the fight against corruption for discussion in cabinet and in parliament. Strengthening accountability and citizen-led barazas as at village, parish, sub-county, and district level, using media as a tool of accountability and social mobilization in the fight against corruption. We have used some laws. Among the laws that we have used the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda 1995. We are using the Local Government Act as amended in 1997. We are using the Anti-Corruption Act, Cap 116. We are using the Land Act, Cap 236. The Local Government, as mentioned, the Registration of Title Act, Cap 240. The Public Service Standing Orders, 2021. The Market Act, Cap 75. The Uganda National Land Policy, and then the Presidential Directive and Cabinet Resolution. Findings are primarily the findings in the sampled projects by the city were unable to cover all the key projects in particular districts, cities, or due to budget constraints. In Jinja, the campaign commenced. We began with Jinja City on 8th July. On the day, I convened a special sitting of council by councillors of Jinja district, attended by hundreds of wananchi and members of parliament from the district. The following issues were raised. The district speaker read an open petition against the chief administrative officer, Mrs. Lilian Nakamate, on several allegations including abusing her office by conniving with the district chairperson to misappropriate funds for the district headquarters. The forensic audit has been conducted and we have found some facts in that petition. Denying councillors access to valuable information include bills of quantity. You see, when we are building government buildings, members of parliament have a right, just like any Ugandan has a right to know what exactly we are doing. That has been one of the causes of bad workmanship, because the people in the community don't know what type of bridge they are building. Ahead you will see those bridges, the wonder bridges in the Bundibujo. So causing financial loss to government through reckless administrative decision, misusing of Uganda shilling 1 billion road rehabilitation grant, which His Excellency the President gave to all districts, or government allocated to all districts since 2023. The District Service Commission was also widely accused of selling jobs to the highest bidder and influence peddling. Arising from allegation, I found it is imperative to have the said cow, Mrs. Lilian Nakamate, recalled and interdicted in public interest to pave way for an impartial investigation. The internal auditor was tasked to undertake an audit, and once this audit is concluded, State House Anti-Corruption Unit shall use it to complete the investigation, and file will be forwarded to DPP for further guidance. In addition, resulting from the campaign, one Nampendo Charles, a physical planner, and one Obad Charles Batambuze, a building contractor officer, were apprehended for irregular authorizing and using permission for the construction of perimeter wall. without the necessary approvals. We moved to Mbale district. Mr. Speaker, on 11th July 2026, I proceeded to Mbale district, equally special sitting of council attended by the councillors and the COW and our entire technical team, district statutory organs, area members of parliament, Honorable Minister Lydia Wanyoto, Honorable Minister Simon Mulongo, were part of the meeting. The following issues were identified. The Department of Health, Education, Water were highlighted as the major conduits of corruption. Using the hands-on approach, which His Excellency has exhibited for us to follow, together with all stakeholders, we visited several UPE and UCE schools, where to our surprise, learners were paying school fees ranging between 75,000 to 110,000 per term for primary and 230 per term in secondary school, despite receiving capitation grant from government. Among the schools that were identified, we had Mbale High, Mpoma High. We also had Mbale High, which receive over 150 million every 3 months from government, but still they continue to charge these poor people. And the intention of UCE was to facilitate the poor to attend education. And the only thing that could be charged probably could be meals with approval of Minister of Education, which hasn't been sought. Then furthermore, the people and student enrollment numbers were infiltrated to attract higher capitation grants. This aided the neglect of inspectors of school, the district education officers of their duty, verifying enrollment. Notably, Nabumali Secondary School had infiltrated enrollment of 340 students to 779, a difference of 432 students multiplied by 170, which they were charging. Budgeted capitation per normal O-level student. This computes to a total loss of 75 million every financial loss to government of Uganda annually for only that number. But that was a sample school, not all the other schools. The teacher Nabumali SS Betty Nabirio Wamanga, District Inspector of School Asadi Walufu, District Education Officer Pade Kauka were arrested immediately, interdicted, and charged with abuse office. They appeared before the Anti-Corruption Division of the High Court on 30th of July as an example to the rest. Also, the District Health Officer, DHO, Dr. Wangisi Jonathan, a former beneficiary of State House Scholarship, irregularly transferred civil enrolled nurses without due process on a fully paid study leave without replacement, causing staff shortage to the referral hospital of Mbale district, which is the Busuwe Health Center 4. Now this DHO recruited the workers. The same day they recruited the workers, he posted them in a health center. In the same health center he posted them, they never reported. He sent what we call a study bond to the health center. A health center, which is a referral, meant to have a total of about 16 health workers. 7 have never appeared. So we are stretching the few who are at the health center. When we asked him, he told me that, you see, Honorable Minister, this is allowed as per public service, but you cannot post people in a station and again on the same day give them a bond before even they register. And then you are overstretching, and yet you have so many health centers. Why couldn't those health workers be distributed so that the main hospital of Mbale district is not affected? So investigation were conducted against him. We also went to Naiku Health Center, where we found 5 critical staff were absent. And at Naiku, we found a gate man who's also a compound maintainer, administering patients, putting cannula on patients. Yes, and when the community was asked, they said he's the most kind, most helpful community person who has been supporting them when doctors are not on duty. The clinical officers who are 2 in that health center, none of them was present. When we dug deeper, we found the 5 health workers don't really work there because we saw the schedule for the next day and for the entire week. They are marked as present. How can you be present tomorrow before even tomorrow reaches? So they are marked their schedules. Same was also in Busuwe Health Center. So the DHO was interdicted brought to anti-corruption court. He was charged. He caused the financial loss of every financial year. For the last 2 years, he did that, of 274 million, only in 2 heritage centers, a sample of 2. But there are more heritage centers. Due to resources, we could not cover all those heritage centers, but there are more of such ghost doctors and nurses. So we estimated the study leave cost Uganda 472 million, just in those 2, in one area center of Busui. Then the people who are working not on duty, the 5, cost Uganda 275 million. Those are on 2 samples. In the Bunyangu Parish, Bufumbo sub-county, Mbale district government dispersed 2.6 billion in 6 phases from 2021 to increase water distribution, build tap stands, water dams, and funded the beneficiary communities in the Bubyangu, Bufumbo sub-county. With my own site visit, they have never received the water, and the taps in towns like Jiwa and all these in Bungoko Central, we found those taps, Bungoko North, those taps were dry. No single water, but money was spent, and the last disbursement of 221 was also paid 2 weeks ago. So Simon Peter Wandera was arrested, interdicted. His file is still with the DPP pending approval, pending forensic audit. Number 7, an inspection was also conducted on the 6-kilometer Bukingara Budwara Road in the Budwara sub-county, accompanied by Bungoko Central MP Muhamudu Masaba, Bungoko North MP Shafiga Wanyenye. The road, which residents found impassable, had been budgeted for 300 million. The Minister of Works Transport Engineers, after an engineering audit, found no work were done on the road. The district engineer, Robert Nashimoro, was subsequently arrested, interdicted, and his file submitted to DPP for pursuit, who has directed further inquiries. The DPP has said we need to have further inquiries. So those are some of the challenges we get on ground. Then, but you see, something is seen. You can see, you budgeted for a road, you said you will put 3 lines of culverts. I've measured the road, you said you will make 8 meters of a width of a road. I have my tape meter, I've done it. You have 3 meters, and then someone called DPP tells you we need more evidence. So those are some of the challenges, but we shall overcome those challenges. So in Mbale City, the Speaker and members on 17th July 2026, we held a consultative meeting at the Mbale City Hall to listen and provide on-spot guidance to various concerns from councillors, business community, residents, and among others. The following salient issues were presented: a questionable cost of construction of City Abbott, shoddy road works across the city, government schools which were charging exorbitant fees. And also, we've actually in Mbale City, one point that has not been clearly marked. The Mbale City engineer, Engineer Kasata Edison, is currently interdicted and is on the run. And when arrested, he will be arraigned in court because his file was sanctioned. Our field visit to secondary schools in Mbale City, namely Nkoma Secondary School, Mbale High School, revealed indeed, despite receiving capitation grants from government, they levied compulsory school charges or school fees ranging between 335,000 per term to 443,000 for each student, of which for each of the schools sampled. This is contrary to Section 9 and 10 of the Education Act. In the messages to all schools in Mbale and across the country, I retaliated, and I keep retaliating the government position and His Excellency's directive on illegal charges in the government schools where there are contributions by parents. No child should be denied access to education for failure to pay voluntary charges like meals. And some parents are willing to pack food for their children. So members and honorable colleagues, we need all of us to fight for the poor so that they get the education. Also, an engineering audit was instructed into the questionable City Abacha, which cost government 113. We are still waiting a report from Minister of Works. We moved to Bulambuli. Mr. Speaker, together with the Minister of State for Local Government, Honorable Namere, and Honorable Simon Mulongo, Honorable Twala Fadil of Tingei County, who's a neighbor to that constituency, and the General Secretary of PLU, and the area members of Parliament, we inspected several government projects in Bulambuli where issues were noted. At Muyamba Health Center 4, the main health center, a construction of a patient's latrine during COVID-19 pandemic at a cost of 73 million. This described as a pit latrine, but when I entered the latrine, there was no pit, there was no hole. So I think when you enter there, you lock yourself and do whatever you do. Maybe people come and collect it. I don't know what kind of angels are there. So no pit was put in that place. So we found the engineer, and the health officer, Dr. Muhammad Mulongo, was immediately interdicted, arrested, and arraigned in court for causing financial loss to government of Uganda to a tune of 73 million. He appeared before the Anti-Corruption Court on 17th July 2026. We further visited several roads budgeted for under the 1 billion road rehabilitation grant. The district engineer, Engineer Paul Walimbwa, rather than using approved Balaam soil for compaction, had several roads including Kimuli Tunya Road, 4.5 kilometer, used garden soil in an effort to cover up his lapses. Upon hearing of my coming, he was subsequently interdicted. How we confirmed they were garden soils, Honorable Byamukama sent 2 engineers who picked samples to our government lab at Makerere and another lab in Chambogo to confirm this was a real good soil for growing malewa. It wasn't for the road. So we moved it to Bulago Health Center 3. The team also inspected Bulago Health Center 3, where government had invested approximately 640 million in infrastructure development, comprising 240 million for construction of workers quarters, and 400 million for completion, 400 million for completion of a ward. Upon inspection, numerous construction defects were discovered, including use of low-quality timber for door. Actually, the BOQ had mahogany door. They put plywood, and the other plywood where you get timber and join is natural plywood of 8,000, and they call them doors. Absence of hand wash facilities in the maternity ward, incomplete worktops, lacking marble ceramic, wards constructed without protective window screens, big vents exposing patients to likely harmful reptiles like snakes below the bed. So in Mayamba, we had to inform the contractor. We asked him to fix the snag report that we had identified. And indeed, after 3 days, I told him I will come back to inspect. I went back, I found he had fixed everything, put the wooden doors, so we let him go. Then in Miyamba Bukalu Bridge project, there is a bridge.
It is Muyembe.
Muyembe. Yes. The inspection team visited that bridge in Bulambuli Town Council. Inspection established the significant deviations from the approved engineering design and bills of quantity. Although more than 500 million had reportedly been spent, the bridge measured approximately 7.2 upon my measurement in width and 9.1 meter in length, subsequently smaller than the approved specification and inadequate to accommodate heavy commercial trucks. When I measured and I looked at the BOQ, I discovered the bridge was smaller because initially it would have been 12 meters width and 15 meters length. And the bridge was transferred from where the water is. They created a dry area to build a bridge in a dry area. Then they got tractors to divert the water to open a new canal. They were doing like a canal construction there in Bulambuli, a new canal. So further findings indicated black soil instead of marram had been used for foundation material. The required white steel reinforcement bars and swamp reinforcement material had not been installed. Construction failed to comply with approved engineering standard. The total project cost was 800 million, of which 500 had been released to the contractor, leaving a balance of 300. The people involved, the town clerk, the planner, the district engineer, all of them were, and the internal auditor, all of them were interdicted and investigated, and they have been held accountable. They have appeared before court. In Tunyu Chimuli, Bumasabo Road, Sisi Sub-County, Inspection team also monitored works along Tuni Chimuli. The inspection established evidence of substandard road works. Government had released approximately $1 billion for the roads, for the road project. The value work executed did not correspond with the funds released. Ordinary soil had been used instead of the first-class maram specified in the approved BOQ and on their work plan, because they had the work plan indicating what they are going to do on a given road. Engineer Paul Walimbwa, the district engineer, was arrested and he appeared before the anti-corruption court. We moved to Namisindwa. Mr. Speaker, in Namisinda district, we conducted spot checks with Honorable Simon Mulongo into the following government projects. Honorable Simon Mulongo and members of parliament led by Honorable Musira the Rastaman, and the other members of parliament all joined. And I want to thank the members who have joined whenever I go to their districts, because I normally notify them. So in Namisindwa, we found a city secondary school where basic hygiene was disregarded. Student enrollment were infiltrated, coupled with illegal school charges. We found a pit latrine for the pupil, for the student, was filled to capacity. And the teachers had another one, which they called a staff toilet, which was also filled. So students were competing with the maggots on where to sport. It is indeed unfortunate. So immediately, I ordered the closure of that school, and I asked the DEO and the people concerned to arrange trucks, sewer trucks, to extract all the waste to create a better learning environment for our learners. The girls complained at that school, extremely complained. The headmaster was arrested, Rosiah William, deputy head teacher Sarah Margaret, school inspector of the school inspector of school, and others were interdicted, arrested, and filed sent to DPP. At St. John's College, Magale, I retaliated the government position on legal charges, reminding them of our revolution approach to free primary education for all, program that was initiated by the president in 1997 for UPE and 2007 for UCE respectively. Several roads reported to have been constructed were found impassable. Culverts uninstalled for the district engineer. Maram not put in place. So Engineer Robert Mukerure, without reasonable cause, was subsequently interdicted, but he went on the run to Kenya. We were able to cooperate with our partners in Kenya. He was apprehended across, he was brought back and presented in court in Kampala. So in the production department, several extension workers were denied their extension grant meant for extension services, like the parish development model. The production officer, after conducting audits on the extension grant from the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to Namisinda district for the last financial year, it was found that funds amounting to 163 million were irregularly diverted by the production officer to unrelated activities. He was subsequently held, interdicted, investigated, and his file sent to DPP. The acting town clerk of Lua Town Council, Samuel Kuroba, in Namisinda district, was also arrested for irregularly purchasing land of 40 million. The community said the person who sold the land informed us, I sold this land to government at 8 million. But the town clerk said he had bought at 40 million, and indeed 40 million he had received it. So he has appeared at anti-corruption court on the 9th of August. He has been charged for misuse and causing financial loss to government. We moved to Masaka district. Mr. Speaker, in Masaka district, a number of issues were raised, including syndicated land grabbing, titling land in protected areas, like the forest, the Central Forest Reserve, using Minister of Land officers, one called Tolbert, who has been finally arrested over making fake titles and defrauding the former Vice President Emeritus, Honorable Sekandi. That gentleman made 700 titles on our forest reserve. And the people who bought the land, who got the titles, have cleared all our trees. They are planting pine, and yet the other trees are indigenous, good for water formation. So investigation revealed on the 24th of April, Minister of Water and Environment wrote to the Minister of Land, Housing and Urban Development, reminding them to cancel 265 titles illegally created in Central Forest Reserve, formerly managed by NFA, but this has not yet been done. This is yet to be done. While investigation into the other land matters remain on course, one Zulaika Nakabiri, a notorious land grabber in Nyondo Mukungwe, and 4 others were arrested and arraigned before the Masaka Chief Magistrate Court for irregularity evicting, trespassing on land owned by private individual. They were remanded until 13th of August. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, on that point, that lady called Zulaika, she's a witch doctor in that area, so she uses her scarecrows to intimidate the poor. She found one widow, removed the widow from her house, and told the widow that this is my house. She put windows and put a tenant. So I think that is the impunity and the thugger of the highest order. Then she had done the same. She went to another elderly person and said this was their ancestral land. So removed the woman from her garden, burnt her house. Then she put a shrine on that land there in Masaka. In Masaka here in Nyendo. So after collecting, harvesting coffee, when I reached, I asked the police of Masaka, why haven't you arrested this woman that we fear entering her compound? I said, where is the compound? Let's go there. I'm covered by grace, by the blood of Jesus Christ. So we entered the compound. We picked her, took her. To my surprise, this very woman called Zulaika, she had 5 sanctioned files. 5 sanctioned files of different crimes. And she had never been appeared in court. Because when she grabs land, she sells people's land, gets money to manipulate around the system. That impunity and the people who are holding the file have been referred to the IGP, the police disciplinary, so that they are removed from the force. We should not have such officers who frustrate the poor. So those ones have been sent, and I'm following up on that case. I've also briefed the Honorable Minister, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, to ensure that those officers are not only transferred, but they are removed from the force. We should not subject and oppress the poor using witchcraft or using power of office, the power that we hold. So now that lady has been sorted. Connected to the above, the senior land officer at Emzo Masaka.
Did you say she's in cells?
Yes, she was remanded in Masaka Chief. She was remanded by Masaka Chief Magistrate Court.
So
we put back the owners.
The evil spirit didn't remove her from the cell?
Totally nothing. But you see, this is what they were telling us, that we all fear her. So I said, I will not fear her. I will not fear her. We removed her, and everything is normal. Connected to the above, Right Honorable Speaker, the senior land officer at the Emzo Masaka, Colbert Ziwata Amale, was apprehended on 12th August 2026 for conspiracy to defraud and several allegations of illegal titling of our own land, the government land, including land belonging to Muzei Sekandi. He made the titles on Muzei Sekandi's land in Chana Mukaka, the land which measured 70. This Tolba told Muzei Sekandi he had 20 acres. Then he made titles on 50 acres, different plots, and started selling. So that Tolbert, his file is before a DPP for sanctioning. Sembabule district. In Sembabule, this has been the headquarters of corruption, the headquarters of impunity, the headquarters of don't remove me from here. So I'm happy I was joined by the Minister, Honorable Anifa Kawoya, both in Masaka, in Greater Masaka. I was joined by Honorable Kawoya. I was joined by Honorable Rashande. I was joined by Honorable Namere in Masaka district and city. But in Zimbabwe, I went with Honorable Kawoya. And then in Rakai, I was joined by both Honorable Kawoya and Honorable Anifa. So in Zimbabwe, Honorable Anifa and Honorable Namere. So in Zimbabwe, the land management officer, Kananura Emmanuel, whom they call Mr. Champion, and the secretary of the land board, Mr. Kakuru Michael, were arrested for extortion of money amounting, by the time I made this report, it was amounting 4.6 billion. But as of yesterday, we had added the people who came up with the different receipts. It had come to 9 billion. But however, Mr. Speaker, for your noting and honorable colleagues, this land government had provided money to make 1,500 title to the poor people in that district called Zimbabwe. So instead of using the money that government gave them, they ate it, and then they started collecting money from people ranging between 1.5 to 2.5. So they collected that money and they never did any work. So those two were presented to State House, to the Anti-Corruption Court in Kampala. primary investigation into this matter highlighted that the Ministry of Lands, in the bid to assist the local communities to get titles for their land, conducted a pilot project in 12 districts, Zimbabwe inclusive. The two suspects, instead of mobilizing the masses to acquire free titles, used the private surveyors and charged each applicant 5 million, between 1.5 to 5 million. So far, 386 victims have testified against the suspect, who have already appeared in court. Then number 3, the senior land officer Emmanuel Kananura Champion and the secretary of the board are arrested for extortion. Emmanuel Kananura appeared before the anti-corruption court on 12th August. I think that is a repetition. In Mbarara City. Mr. Speaker, on 4th August, we visited Mbarara City, held a council session toward several projects in the city. Previous to the above, the chief finance officer had petitioned my office to investigate several high-level corruption scandals in the city. Diversion, misappropriation of Woosmid funds through irregular issuance of payments under the Bank of Uganda letters of credit to contractors amounting to 2.838674,880 billion. Property tax revenue diversion in financial year 2025-2026 to activities outside approved allocation, including expenditure on tax park toilets. Toilets were built as pit latrine. There was no pit as well in Mbarara. Bus park. So I've advised them, since the sewer line is near, they can put toilets now and maybe connect pipes so that we go straight to the sewer. But there's also no pit. So that amounts to a crime. There they spent close to 712,756,278 shilling. Unaccounted staff for advances and fuel operation payment, including 42 million to the natural resource officer, 52 million to the internal auditor. Revenue mismanagement of instance, weekly street parking revenue reduced from 8.2 million under Woodflex, a company which was collecting, to 5.6 million under Yoya Technology Limited without transparent council approval. They just changed the contractor, the tenderer, removed the other tenderer who was giving them more money and got the tenderer who gives them less money, which amounts to craziness. Attempted reduction of road width, implementation of variation totaling to 1.394993,431 billion for Burembe, Bishop Stewart University Road, despite objection from the Solicitor General. They had sought guidance from the Solicitor General, he had rejected. They went ahead and implemented a project without his guidance. So they caused a financial loss of 1.39 billion. Corruption in Mbarara Central Market, where presidential pledges were embezzled and accounted for by the former market administration. There, what we did, it was simple. We organized an election immediately for the different departments, and then they formed a new committee led by the market master. All the above issues were investigated by State House Anti-Corruption, files submitted. Some of them have appeared. Mbarara City has not been exhausted. I don't know why the 7 point is missing. There is Kanondu-Chira Road. They increased the contract price by 216 million shilling, I remember. 216 million shilling was added on the Uchira Road. And a section of about 200 meters was never tarmacked in Mbarara City under Woosmid. So the money meant for that was diverted, was eaten. So all the above issues were presented to DPP. In the Sinjiro district, Mr. Speaker, on 6, I proceeded to Sinjiro district. Below are the primary findings from our cross-cutting tour and interaction with the several affected communities. We held a baraza with the district leadership, and then later had a rally. In Kaberebere, Matoke, coffee, animal trades were subjected to illegal road charges by Shafiq Trading in connivance with the district officials. No money was banked to the account. When we intercepted the people collecting, we discovered on a daily basis they collect 3.5 million, and this has been ongoing for a very long time. That money goes into people's pocket, disregarding the presidential directive of no road tolls for food or any other thing. Those road tolls were removed. It's only in Isingiro where you can find that. Furthermore, fees were charged. District officials were busy enjoying, so we have sent the file to DPP. A coffee holler installed by government in Chikagata was vandalized. The transformer, upon installation, the transformer, a three-phase transformer, the day they installed it, the next day, they removed it, and the chief administrative officer never reported. And the critical parts of the machine were vandalized. She has since been interdicted, and her file has been sent to DPP for further management. Furthermore, Usmid project of 2.6 billion for the construction of 8 roads were embezzled. The quality of work done is substandard, despite full payment of the said sum to the contractor. Minister of Works, engineers and experts currently are conducting a forensic audit to verify the allegation and also to find how much we have lost as government.
This should be summarized.
Almost. Several other issues raised, including misuse of youth livelihood funds, misuse of road rehabilitation grants, shoulder work at Kabelebe, the primary school toilet, to a tune of 60 million, all of which were under investigation by State House Anti-Corruption and Minister of Works. In the Buweju, the district engineer and the chairman of the district and several others participated in corruption. One of the tractor operators had reported that chairman had received 96 million, but the tractor operator was given 6 million and work done. The road was cleared. So the chairman wanted that man called he wanted the chairman to sign for the money, and they wanted the driver, the tractor operator to sign for the money. The old man refused. He said, I will not sign for what I have not spent. So chairman is under investigation. Furthermore, chairman of Weju, Deo Atohaide, is under investigation. We got details of a deposit of 14 million from one of the material suppliers of the district on his account. So investigations are ongoing. Other issues raised included the fraud in tea seedling payment, construction of administration block in wetland, setting off government jobs. This has been the main problem in all districts. People are complaining about jobs. We moved to Mitoma on 8th August, Mr. Speaker. We visited Mitoma district headquarters. We had a meeting. We found laxity by police in conducting timely investigation. The residents cited several murder cases which have not been concluded, even when suspects were known by the community. Furthermore, the community member also raised the concerns that exhibits were released by police after receiving bribes, thus weakening their cases. In regard to this, I direct the regional police commander, Greater Bushen, to transfer the OC Mitoma on approval of the Inspector General of Government. That was done immediately. And he has been put on Katebe pending police disciplinary department process. The district education officer, Barunji Peace Gloria, was implicated in several education-related malpractices, including irregular charging of government students, mismanagement of SFG grant, Rutaka Primary School, extraction of a private student from registration, among others. She was also charged. She created a primary school which never existed, and that primary school has teachers. That a ghost school, which doesn't exist on ground. That is in the constituency of the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker. So she receives grant, they receive textbooks, and they receive salaries for teachers who have never been seen. So at Higarama Playground in Ibtereko Sub-County, I was lucky to be joined by my brother, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Thomas Taewa. Together we handled several communal issues and educated masses on government programs. That rally proceeded up to 2 a.m. We moved now to Pakwach. But before Pakwach, they have left out a bridge. In Mitoma, there is a health center 3 which was built, never equipped, but it exists. It is there, but there are doctors, they have never opened it, but it is there. And people receive money for that health center. There is also an abattoir where they slaughter cows, built behind a pit latrine which is full. So the fries are moving. See that wastage, and they used 70 million. When you look at the structure, it is not even 10 million. When I look at that structure, it's not 10 million. So that is what was in Mitoma. So the engineer appeared in court last week on I think Thursday, and the DEO and 8 others have appeared in court from Mitoma district. Then we went to Pakwach. The engineer received 1,900,000,000 to work on 1 kilometer low-cost road, but I found he had only done 4 years ago. He had only done 20 meter, which he worked on when I was there. So when we intercepted him with the town clerk, he said, money, 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 money. I said, where is the money? He said, money, 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 money. Said, where is the money? That I have material. Where is the material? Money, 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 money. So that one, he has appeared before the anti-corruption for misappropriation of funds. The district inspector of school, it's really unfortunate. In the same district of Pakwach, the district inspector of school, Odonkala Maxwell, was also recommended for interdiction over allegation of charging UNEB fees in government schools. The matter had previously been investigated by the area police, but the file was closed without charging him. So the matter has been reinvestigated and will appear in court this week. Other concerns raised during the campaign in Pakwach included alleged extortion of PDM, which will be followed up jointly with the police. In Pakwach, I was joined by the 2 members of parliament, Honorable Pachto and Honorable Masho. We conducted a rally, which I think also ended in the wee hours of the morning. During the rally, they mentioned prominently a man called Babangina, who has been collecting on behalf of the district official from every circle between 25 million from every 100 given to a parish. So they take about 25 and the parish remains with 75. So Babangina is on the run. Our last investigation shows his line at the cross around Alwara, but still our forces will get him and he will be brought to justice. In Maracha district on 14th August, I was accompanied by the area members of parliament and other DCs and LC5 chairperson and other district leaders. Issues raised under investigation at Koi and the Madria Primary School. They had inflated numbers, figures were identified. We found in one school, they had 2,200 students receiving capitation grant, but in actual sense on ground, what I counted physically, and with examination papers which were in class, because they had done exams and all exams were there, so all classes had the representation. And what the director of study had, we found they had put in fake figures amounting to 1,500 for one primary school. Another school had added 800 ghost people to benefit from capitation. And these are sample schools. These are schools that I did sample. Now, what is happening, we could find whatever we have in UPE, half of it are ghosts. So we need to do more as leaders so that we save that money and we put that money, maybe we add on the capitation for the actual number than having a bigger number who don't exist. So yes, we're in touch with the Honorable Dr. Muyingo. Other concerns raised included alleged extortion of PDM. 7 people were arrested. They confessed, including LC3 chairperson. By evening, we arrested small 3 who had also received. So in Maracha 10 were arrested over PDM and they confessed, but they will still appear in court. They will have to refund and appear in court. PDM is for the poor. Kasese district, the entire former district service commission was reportedly extorting between 3 to 18 million from job applicant using proxy and office messengers. A general inquiry file was opened against the entire previous commission by State House Anti-Corruption. Investigations are ongoing. Land measuring about 200 acres meant for the resettlement of IDPs in the Mohoche Town Council has since been encroached on, subdivided, and the program frustrated by syndicated corruption. We are investigating this matter, the CID and State House Anti-Corruption, set of plots of the Green Belt in the area, municipality along Chamembe Road, Kasese Mbarara Road, Lions Park, along Senare Street, despite presidential directive, halting transaction on disposing of government land or any strategic asset without approval of parliament. Inflated enrollment figures were identified in Iwunga Primary School, Kirembe Primary School, Road Barrier Primary School, Kiha Primary School, and we found also they were charging 240 government schools for UNEB, and yet government pays UNEB for our candidates. In the Bunyangabo, actually in Kasese, there is another school where they built in Katwe sub-county. They built a small kitchen. When I posted, someone sent it to me that this is a kitchen for the school. And 103 million had been spent. When I posted and said I will come to Kasese, I found that kitchen had been expanded to a bigger one. Then when I went on the ground, I asked the district engineer and production officer, who built this? Is this a ghost? Where is the drawing? When I looked at the drawing, the act had been implemented, but initially they had commissioned, the RDC had commissioned a smaller version of the toilet. So those are some of the problems. In the Bunyangabo, inflated enrollment figures were discovered at Buhesi Secondary School, Rimi SS, Kibito Secondary School. These schools were also charging students between 110, 420 per student per term. So much has been lost. In Chivito, the community raised concern. They have been collecting money for the bus for the last 15 years, and they charge parents 20,000. If you have 1,000 students and they are paying 20,000 every year, every new child pays the same for 15 years. So the management is under investigation to ensure parents get their refund. Local economic growth support legs market at Nyakigamba, probably constructed at a cost of 1.5 billion, had only scanty shed, pillars, no toilet. The slaughterhouse was discharging blood straight to the stream, the same stream where people are collecting water. So the town clerk of Kinyamaseke, the town clerk and the manager of Kinyamaseke market were immediately arrested. They had also diverted 620 million shilling meant for a shed. Visibly worn out iron sheets were put instead of putting new iron sheets. So those ones will appear in court this week. In the Bundubujo district, Akitenye and the Kasulanga Primary School in the Bundubujo, the school head teacher added numbers, ghost numbers, to attract higher capitation funds. The said head teacher had also irregularly recruited private candidates into primary 7, a fee of 188 per student in a breach of UNEB. Actually, in Bunyangabo, Kasese, and the Bundubujo, the money meant for road fund, I cannot confirm that they are doing any work. They are not doing any work. That money is for sharing. They share the district, sit and agree on how to share. So I'm encouraging members of parliament who sit on those works committee to ensure that money is spent. There is no work done for that money. In Bundubujo, we found bridges, one bridge which cost 350 million shilling, which collapsed without a single iron bar. Not even the smallest iron material called steel wire was not installed. Nothing. So it was washed away. Now they have improvised with the eucalyptus for students to cross.
Did you say bridge collapse? There was no even a steel wire?
Not even a steel wire, not even a steel wire is the smallest steel.
Iron?
No iron bars, no BRC, nothing of steel that can hold a bridge to stand. So they piled the stones, a Roman kind of construction. For them, actually, they're experimenting the Roman Empire. They are doing Roman bridges. So they had 3 bridges. One bridge was built where there is no stream, where there is no water, in Nyachisinga. I was with the Honorable Minister, Honorable Ntawaz. I asked Honorable Ntawaz, now which river is this? They said that we're expecting a river probably. They're expecting a river from the mountain anytime. So they have installed a bridge. That one they had used 113 million. Bundubujo, there is a market at Nyachisinga, the border market, built at a cost of 2.6 billion. The place is flooded, no drainage. The toilet is poorly constructed. The contractor, the engineer, the town clerk were arrested on the spot. They will appear in court this week. My observation, Right Honorable Speaker, on the above findings. So far, 94 people have been arrested. 19 accused persons have appeared before courts. 45 cases, others, actually the total number of interdicted officers now in local government are raising to about 300 in number. Some of them, we have interdicted them to allow an impartial investigation to take place. Because you cannot have an auditor or somebody who has been mismanaging, remain in office as forensic audit is taking place. So over 310 have been interdicted. However, many of these people, the total amount of money saved in this operation or identified that could be recovered from the culprits is 14.7 billion. And as mentioned, Right Honorable Speaker, we are doing sample sample attack in a given area. We are not covering a district. For instance, Mbale has a total of 59 health centers. We only went to 2 and we saw those gaps. The key cross-cutting issue found in most districts visited were irregular charges in UPE and UCE schools, inflation of capitation for UPE and UCE grants, shoulder works in road construction, other civil works projects, selling of government jobs, irregular charges levied by government schools to the case of voluntary contribution, national-wide issue. So what we need to do is, Right Honourable Speaker, as Parliament, we need to support the President and government to see that our young people in the different schools where we control get free education. Those who don't want to take porridge should get free education, because capitation grant covers chalk, exam, and any other cost. Apart from external charges like trips, those are met by the parents and the food. But their parents who don't want food, who can give their children. So we should insist, all of us, that no charging people or students in UCA and UPE school money under disguise of meals, which are never provided in most cases. So on inflation of capitation grants, which should be based on actual enrollment number. The vice is perpetuated by the negligence of the respective education officers in municipalities, cities, and districts when they fail to verify actual enrollment numbers in school under them. Yet they are facilitated with the monitoring fund. In each of the districts, they get monitoring fund. Regarding the road maintenance grant, we observed the shoulder work across numbers of local government, and in most local government, like in Mitoma, they have not done any road under the 1 billion fund the last 2 financial years. That was confirmed by area members of parliament. The engineer, who's called John Bosco, who the locals celebrated for him being sent to court and is now on remand, he had become a big nut. He collects more money to fight any politician to lose a seat. And he has been threatening people about that. He's too wealthy. Nobody could touch him. But that one, we sorted him. On selling government job, Right Honourable Speaker, the vice is rampant, and most reported in when those who bribe are not finally given, they come out and report, like in Buweju, in all those western districts and Bugisu. We have heard that. The campaign is led by the people. Right Honourable Speaker, we are not spending any money to mobilize people to come for those rallies. As government, people are coming by themselves. We are not transporting them. We are not providing water. We are not providing food. We are not providing a tent. All we put is a platform, which is also a donation. There is no budget that I found in Ministry of Local Government for such activities. So some of these things we are trying to make the work to be done. Right Honourable Speaker, the fight against corruption is possible and winnable with the right people and tools at hand. Corruption will be a thing of the past through national mobilization and continued initiatives like the above. The above findings are from a sample view, and due to the resource constraints, my team is unable to visit other facilities. My recommendation, the Minister of Education and Sports should clarify on the issue of voluntary charges, the limit, usage, and issue guidelines on irregular charges across all the country. A settlement should come from the Minister of Education. That is my recommendation. So that people know that meals will cost 50,000. So any school that wants to charge meals should pay 50,000, not charge more than that. A directive must be issued on cancellation of all titles in Central Forest Reserve that were made in Masaka. The communication between Minister of Water and Environment and Minister of Land, this should be implemented. The 1 billion road grant is made conditional on performance and utilization, with further more resources to be given to best performing districts. Further, a monitoring mechanism to ensure quality work and standard should be put in place by Minister of Works, Transport, and local government. Because currently there is no technical supervision of local government engineers. There is no technical supervision. The District Service Commission across the country should be closely monitored. Supervisory and oversight will be instituted. This will be made possible when we make amendment in the Local Government Act that I intend to table before Cabinet and Parliament very soon, where local government staff should be on rotational basis, not have a local government staff serving 25 years in Ibunyangabo he becomes a small king in one district. So they should be rotated in the region, in a given sub-region every 3 years, including chief administrative officers should be removed and rotated at most times. I would like to thank in a special way the Office of the President, the Director General of ISO, all DSOs, Mr. Sekabira Samuel, a Principal Legal Officer of State House, Superintendent of Police Owed Muhammad, Inspector Dongo Daniel, Sergeant Kisule Siraj, Maximu Elizoba, Chief State Attorney at DPP, Mr. Mugisha Raymond, Chief State Attorney at DPP, Mr. Masaba James, a councillor in Mbale, who exposed him and others, exposed all the rot in Mbale district and Mbale city. There, 32 people were interdicted, and with enough evidence, we pray that things are done. Then the other recommendation, Right Honourable Speaker, is more technical support to render to Brigadier General Isoke, to CID, to DPP, in terms of extra lawyers, good lawyers, to support the prostitution capacity and resources for this invaluable support in the fight against corruption. Despite the small sizes of the unit, we pray in future that once people have stolen a lot of these funds, people who are stealing funds, probably we may need to do a constitutional amendment where bail for the corrupt and also people arrested and charged should refund, not arrest, sentence, and then don't refund. People should refund money because there are those who are willing to do that. So maybe we may have to think of a constitutional amendment in future. Mr. Speaker, I've attached Annex 1 and 2, a summary of action taken and status of the cases being handled. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, full participation of all honorable members of Parliament. Just give me 3 minutes. Kindly, Right Honorable Speaker. Only 2 minutes. Thank you very much. All honorable members of Parliament should actively participate in the Expose the Corrupt campaign and support the efforts to strengthen accountability. Right Honorable Speaker, we have also met with the PAC, local government, and the other committee of local government, public service and local government. We have discussed and agreed, and we are supporting each other closely together. So this fight is not ours as a ministry, it's for all Ugandans. Public display of budget and work plan at all sub-counties and districts so that the local can monitor and the demand for the road that had been budgeted in a given year. Strengthen the office of DPP on local government cases, increase the resources for anti-corruption institution, strengthen CID, ISO, and set out anti-corruption agents, strengthen the inspectorate of government, support the office of DPP, and also better pay and facilitation of the lawyers who are representing government, and the LC5 chairpersons, Right Honourable Speaker, earn 1.8. They are supervising a cow who earns 12.7. The RDC who's earning now current rate of 9 million. How can chairman monitor, supervise, and oversee people who are earning less? So we need to look into that matter, Right Honourable Speaker. And they use a lot of money in campaigns. Then full and active participation in the campaign of all leaders. I want to thank the members of opposition who have actively supported this campaign, who are attending most of these rallies. In conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker, the Expose the Corrupt campaign should become a sustained national effort to protect public resources, improve service delivery, and restore public confidence in local government. Fund the institution fighting corruption, strengthen the oversight, empower our elected leaders, expose abuse of public resources, ensure that justice is timely, impartial, and firmly grounded in the law. That is what we are following. Accountability must be firm, lawful, and evidence-based. I submit.
Minister of Education. Thank you.
I beg to submit this report to you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Lay it for the record of, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for fighting corruption and witchcraft also.